How we doing, everybody? Welcome into the first ever episode of the Washed Up Sports Podcast. We are your Washed Up Sports hosts.
Patrick Quinn,
Luis Ortiz,
and I'm Bobby Hanscom. It is April 6th, so you know what time it is. It is baseball time. So today we'll be getting into who we think are the best teams in the league, who we think will win each division, Young, MVP. We will also be going into talking about the Final Four and who we think will win each game and do a championship game matchup previews. We will also be getting into a topic called Same Faces, New Places. So stay tuned in to hear what that's all about. So with that being said, we're going to be kicking off with some baseball.
Dude, Dodgers, pretty good.
Dodgers
Great
are all right.
season. Great start to the season. I would say they're little wagons, but I know it's early. There's a lot of different teams.
They just paid so much money for everybody. They better win.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like they have the highest payroll in baseball. Like, there's no way that they shouldn't win. They have Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, who has been playing out of his mind right now.
Freddie Freeman.
Kershaw.
Who'd they just get? Glasnow from the Rays, too.
They have Yamamoto.
Yeah.
They have a ton of new players.
They just spent $1 billion, so
yeah.
they better know what they're doing here. So obviously the Dodgers, but
Yanks stepping it up.
Yankees
beginning.
Yankees, Orioles, Braves. Other than those, I mean, you'll have Toronto maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Seattle,
Baltimore, with how young they are.
Baltimore will be there. We were talking about Baltimore. I mean, the Tigers are playing okay right now.
Yeah.
Tigers will be interesting.
See if they can keep it together with how normally bad of a team they've been recently.
Yeah. The Cubs will be all right. They're young, very young. Owner's like 108 years old, too, so.
And they just paid Cody Bellinger a bag, too, so see if that pays out.
They paid Cody?
Came back. Yeah,
they paid him.
Signed him in the offseason. He was only there for 1 year last year, and then they signed him this year to a 3-year deal. I don't even remember how much it was.
Wasn't he back there when they won the World Series, though? No, he wasn't on that team? He was with the Dodgers? Yeah, he was with the Dodgers for a while. That's true.
Rangers, back-to-back? Anything?
They have the chance. I mean, it sucks that their best young third baseman just fractured his wrist, and he's going to be out to 8 to 10 weeks. So we'll see how much that affects them. I know, obviously, like Corey Seager and Marcus Semien, they're going to play obviously how they always do, and see Eovaldi, see if he can keep up with the pitching and keep going how he's doing. And
I think their biggest X factor is Jacob deGrom. If he stays healthy, he's such a good pitcher, but he can't play more than 60 games. They lost Jordan Montgomery, didn't they?
Yeah. He went to Arizona.
Yeah, that's right.
Signed with Arizona like 3 weeks before the season started.
Yeah, so losing him
is also top 10 power rankings.
So Arizona.
Yeah. They're a good young team.
I don't think they'll have the same success as they did last year, though. I think last year both teams really was just like you would have never expected those two in the World Series.
No.
I mean, I understand Arizona's young, but
they snuck into the
Yeah.
Wiggled.
And then made it to the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, once you get in, you just get in and you got to keep playing baseball. That's how it has to go.
Were we sleepers? Anyone that didn't really start off well? Player-wise.
I mean, obviously Shohei started off just awful. So obviously he's played bad. I think he'll easily get it back going.
I think it's all about his
all the off the field issues. It could be. So I mean, him being in LA, I mean that could.
He's got a lot of other things going on that
definitely more lights around him now too.
Yeah,
so,
100%.
More cameras around him.
I will say, so his first home run that he hit for the Dodgers, so the Dodgers Shohei wanted the ball back, so the Dodgers asked for the ball back from the fan who caught it, and he legit. So they only gave him a couple bats, a couple hats, and nothing autographed by Shohei. Never met Shohei. That's they asked fans if they met him. They said no. They go and ask Shohei if they met him. And he says, yeah. So with him lying about that, do we also think he's lying about his interpreter and gambling on the games? Because
He's definitely lying about that.
you lie once
He's
about
definitely
something little
lying.
like that, why wouldn't you lie again
Yeah.
about something huge?
He
like
has
that to ruin your career?
the easiest cop out in the world. I don't speak the language. You know, I'm from Japan. This interpreter tells me everything and what I'm supposed to do. It's the easiest cop out. If he actually was gambling that stuff, yeah, it was all my interpreter.
If I
Yeah.
signed a bag, man, I throw some money down on something. You know, have to.
Or even if it
Have
was,
to.
his interpreter, they were so close. You can't be like he was like, "Hey, Otani, what do you think about you guys? How you guys gonna do today? Like, what are you feeling?" You know, like Otani, even if he didn't put the money down himself, he definitely contributed 100%.
Absolutely.
Teammate, Betts, though.
MVP.
He's locked in.
He's very
locked in.
Mookie's having himself a year so far. But then again, like he did last year, I mean, he had, 25 at All-Star break last year?
And then slowed down.
And then slowed down.
Yeah.
So
I think Bryce Harper will be good this year. Rough start, but like it's 8 games in. They've had 30 at bats, 35 at bats.
Yeah.
You know, throughout a season of 162 plus playoffs, those fucking first 32 at bats don't matter.
It is a
They'll
long
be
year.
good.
It is a long year to
Yeah.
really make any clear decisions.
When it's late July, early July, that's when you got to be like, okay, how are they hitting the ball right now?
Yeah.
Because that's like the midway point.
So now we're going to go into the way too early MVP, Cy Young, and who we think is going to be the top teams in the league and possibly win the World Series. So, Pat, who do you think is going to be your Cy Young winner?
In the AL or the NL?
Give me both.
All right. For the AL, I got Corbin Burns going to the Orioles from Milwaukee. He was always good in Milwaukee, but he's playing with a really good Orioles team. I think he's going to win the Cy Young. And then in the NL, I have Zach Wheeler in the NL with the Phillies. Phillies have always been knocking on the door. They got good pitching. They got a good bullpen. I think he'll have a really, really good year. So I'm going with Zach Wheeler in the NL and Corbin Burns in the AL.
Okay. Lou?
I got Evaldi in the AL.
I agree with you on that one.
Yu Darvish in the NL. Could be a sleeper, but, could have a great year. So
Great value on Yu Darvish. You pick him now. Plus a lot.
would be. Plus money.
Lou, I definitely agree with you on Evaldi. He came out pitching the first 2 games very well. I think he's going to take home the Cy Young from the AL. NL Cy Young winner is going to be Zach Gallen from Arizona. He's only allowed 2 runs in his 11 innings pitched so far. So I think he's going to keep that going and ride that on. And all right.
So now we're going to go into the AL and NL MVP. For the AL, I have Jose Ramirez with the Cleveland Guardians. He's always been so consistent, high batting average, a lot of RBIs brought in, always consistent with the bat, can hit the ball out of the park as well.
Jose walks a ton too.
Yeah, his OPS is really, really high. I'm going with Jose Ramirez. And then in the NL, I have Austin Riley with the Atlanta Braves. Always kind of have been in the shadows of Ronald Acuna. This year, I think he really makes a step and proves that he's a number 1 on any team in the MLB.
Yeah, that's a sleeper for sure too. My AL MVP is Yordan Alvarez. He's a home run hitter, brings in the RBIs for always a very good Astros team, always taking them to the playoffs, leading them deep in the playoffs, and he's the reason why. I think he's the one who could take home the AL MVP. Now my NL MVP, man who won one in Boston. I think he also wins one at the Dodgers and wins one in both sides. So I think Mookie's going to take home this one too. He started out the season extremely hot, batting almost 500 with 5 home runs, like I said earlier. So I think Mookie's the one who takes it home as well.
Yeah, no, I would have to agree with Bobby on the NL MVP, 100%. I would think it's Mookie too. He's just insane right now, and I don't see him slowing down. For my AL, new team, Juan Soto for the Yanks. I believe he'll have a great year, and hopefully this is the missing piece that we need to get us past the hump.
To get us back into the actual playoffs this
Yeah.
year would be a good start. Speaking of playoffs, we'll now do a rundown of division winners, who we think is going to be in it when it's all said and done, and then wild card. We're not going to talk about who's going to win yet because it's obviously just April, but we're going to talk about who we see playing in those colder months at the end when September, October, November start coming around. I'll start first. In the American League East, I have the Orioles winning the division, and I see the Yankees as a wild card team. I think both those teams will shoot for almost close to 100 wins this year. Really, really good teams. Both got good rotations, good bats. So the AL East, like always, will always be competitive, but I have those two teams.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one too, because I think Baltimore's going to take that from the Yankees as well. Because the Yankees, every year, can they stay healthy?
Yeah,
that's the key with them.
That's always the biggest question. Yeah. I agree with both of that too. I do agree with the Orioles, but they'll both make it into the playoffs.
Now for the AL Central, right now Detroit's really, really hot, but I don't see that lasting. I like the Twins to win this division this year. I think they're always right on the cusp. Even when they get into the playoffs, they can't do anything. But I think the Twins will win this year. Them and the Guardians, like always. And then Kansas City will be okay. They'll definitely be better than the last couple of years. But I think the Twins win the division.
Yeah, I actually think the Guardians will win this division. It sucks that they lost Shane Bieber for the rest of the year with Tommy John, but I still think Cleveland's gonna come around. I think they're gonna stay hot. They're gonna keep it going for a little bit. Obviously, teams go in slumps, but I still think they'll take it. I do think Minnesota will be right there with them too at the top. But the Twins are very good. Byron Buxton leading that team, and it's a possibility. So.
I like the Guardians, honestly. I like them. I like the way they've been playing right now. They have a plus 30 run differential, so they can definitely hit the ball.
All right, last one in the AL West, which could be the most competitive division all year.
Yeah, I agree.
When you got the former World Series champion Rangers, you have the Houston Astros, who are always in it. And then, you have Seattle they got in last year, didn't they?
I believe they did.
Yeah. Came down to the last wild card spot. Seattle only got better. Houston only got better. The Rangers only got better. So I think the Rangers will repeat again, though. I think they'll win that division. And then I think that battle for the second spot between Seattle and Houston is going to be super, super competitive. But I think Seattle gets in. I think the Astros don't even make the playoffs this year for the first time in a long, long time.
You see, so I can't go. I think Houston's actually going to stay in the playoffs. Like I said, my MVP is on Houston.
Yeah.
So as much as I hate Houston being a Red Sox fan and you guys being a Yankees fan, I know how you guys feel too.
Trash can bastards.
Yeah. But I still think Houston's going to end up taking this division. I think the Rangers are obviously one of the top teams in the league, but I think it's going to be between those two as well.
I think the Rangers got it on the West, but I just don't see Houston not making the playoffs. 2-6 start, but it's too early to make any decisions about that. But I feel like both teams will make the playoffs, but the Rangers take this division.
All right, now into the National League East. We start off. Atlanta's just always so good.
Yeah.
They're always so good. They always seem to get better. They always add an extra arm, an extra bat every single year.
Your NL MVP was on that team.
Yep, probably 3 of those players on that team could be an NL MVP.
Yep.
Between
Matt Olson,
Acuna, Austin Riley, there's a ton of bats on that team, great pitching. Philly's a really good team again, too, but there's something. Philly's just, as long as Atlanta's going to be in that wild card spot. Yeah. I think it's Atlanta's division. It'll always be Atlanta's division with those players on that team. Even if Philly gets there's not much more you can do. No. But I think Atlanta will win that division again, and then Philly will get into the playoffs.
Yeah, once again.
Everyone else in that division is horrendous. That might be the 3 worst teams in baseball besides the A's.
Yeah.
The Mets, the Nationals, and the Marlins.
Yeah.
They're bad. So it's always going
Marlins
to be
have
those two.
already not qualified for the playoffs. They have not.
Write them off already. The first team to not qualify for the playoffs.
0-8 to
Make
start
the
the
post.
year.
Yeah.
0-8 to start the year. 0-7 at home.
Minus
to start
30
the year.
run differential.
Yeah, that minus 30 run
That's-
differential is crazy.
That team is sad.
Dumpster
But
fire.
Braves are wagons.
Yeah.
They're taking that division.
Yeah, there's no shot the Braves don't take that division. Now we're going to go into the NL Central. I think, honestly, surprise team, but I think the Reds are actually going to take this division. Right?
Really?
Yeah, they're a very young team. Ellie De La Cruz.
You see the 3 errors he made in like
Yeah,
2 innings?
I understand, but he's a rookie. It's still technically it's his rookie year, even though he played in some games
How does
last
that
year.
even work?
Got to play a certain amount of games, I guess. But yeah, I think they're a very good young team, and I think they're going to end up taking this division.
I like De La Cruz, man. He actually started learning English after the whole Shuhei debacle.
I did see that speech where he was speaking in English for the first time ever. And
Like,
Twitter was all
I'm
like,
not getting misunderstood.
Twitter was all about like I seen it once, it ain't happening again. Some good memes out there.
But Lou, who do you think is going to end up taking that division? I know you like LA De La Cruz, but do you think they're going to?
I don't think they'll be taking it. I kind of like the Cubs, honestly. Just by like the way they're just beginning right now. Not bad. It's really too early. I would like to see Chicago back in there.
Yeah, it's always good when the Cubs are in the playoffs. I think they got a chance. I think this division will also be very competitive because I don't see the Cardinals being as bad as they were last year. Like the Cardinals are always a pretty good team. Brewers are always a good team. Pirates will fall off. I like the Cubs up there, but I think the Brewers will win this. I think the Brewers will win the NL Central, and then St. Louis will be fighting with them because I just don't see St. Louis being that bad. But I like the Brewers to win this division.
Okay.
So is the NL West just like a wash? Do we know? Like, is there even a question?
About the NL West, I mean Dodgers, but I mean you can't not have a conversation about Arizona, obviously being
even San Diego
even
staying
San
healthy.
Diego.
San Francisco always.
Adding in Snell too.
Yeah.
They're going to be a good team. Colorado's obviously a dumpster fire.
Colorado's a dumpster fire. Yeah.
Unfortunately,
that'll be a good division. But did you say who you think's good? Yeah, you have the Reds winning, right? The NL Central.
Yeah. But in the West, I think obviously, most people would pick the Dodgers, but I think the Padres are going to come out.
Wow.
Out of the West. I think obviously with all that money going into the Dodgers, I don't know. I just for some
you just
reason,
love to see it just burn to the ground.
And I also one of my favorite players is Tatis. Xander Bogaerts was Ben when he was with the Sox.
A lot of money they spent on him to play right field or shortstop sometimes.
Yeah,
they're all over the place there.
Yeah, I like San Diego though.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. That's another very competitive. The West is very competitive in that aspect with 4 teams that. No, between San Francisco's made it to numerous World Series in the last decade and a half. LA's always there. Arizona just got there, for the first time in a while. San Diego has the talent to get there. But I think it's just going to be the Dodgers. Dodgers will have 105 wins on the season, put up insane numbers, and then get to the playoffs and hopefully just all fold. Get swept in the first round again in 3 games. I don't know. Any of these 3 teams could be a wild card team, but I think I'll take if San Diego can stay healthy, I like them as a wild card team to come in second in that division. All right, now that we wrapped up with the end of the season awards, division winners, and who we think are going to be in the playoffs, now we're going to talk about the 2 big games tonight, the Final 4 matchups. We have North Carolina State versus Purdue. That is the early game at 6:09. Then at the 8:49 slot, we have Alabama against the defending national champion UConn Huskies. First game, line starts at about 9.5, depending on where you look. Purdue's a heavy favorite in this game. And then in the late one, UConn is an 11.5 favorite against Alabama. Lou, what are we thinking about tonight's games?
I think the early game, it's going to be a battle between the big men, obviously. DJ Burns, Zach Edey. I think if the refs play it fair and every single touch Zach Edey gets is a foul, Purdue's a heavy favorite. I don't know. I love NC State. I love the way they've been playing. I think they're just like a team. Like that's how they win. It's just
Cinderella story to the
Exactly.
highest degree. I mean,
and
you go back to that run NC State had when they wouldn't have even been here if they didn't hit that crazy buzzer beater against Virginia. If that Virginia player didn't miss the free throw to go up 4, like there's something about the destiny they have. But
I would love to see NC State pulling this off. I think they have the ability to, and I think just the Cinderella keeps going.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree. I think NC State actually wins this game as well. I think they keep it going, riding it hot. I know earlier, a couple weeks ago, when just the three of us were talking, I told you guys I thought NC State was done in the first round. So, with that being said, I've definitely switched it around a little bit. So,
who'd they play in the opening match? NC State?
Oh, that's a great question.
They were
played Oakland second round though.
They were 12 playing.
No, they were 11.
They were 11 playing a 6, and the 6 was
St. Mary's.
No, St. Mary's was a 5. Gonzaga was a 5. 6 was
South Carolina. No, that was Oregon. Who did they play?
NC State. Played.
Oh, Texas Tech.
Yes, Texas Tech.
I don't know why I couldn't remember that, but yeah, Texas Tech.
So you both have NC State winning this game.
Yeah.
Not covering, winning this game.
Yeah.
No shot.
I mean, for my pick parlay, I did have them covered, but I'm a big NC State fan. That's America's team right now, baby.
It is America's team. DJ Burns getting his NIL money from Barstool. He's got vending machines he's selling all over the place. I think it's a great story, but these refs in the tournament, you see the size of him. He's just going to bump Edey with the shoulder, and they're going to call foul. Purdue's a lot deeper this year. I think Purdue wins and covers. I think they'll win this game by 12, 14 points. I think they're just too good of a team. And I think the NC State magic has been great. I think it's done.
All right. What about the second game, Pat?
Late game. UConn.
I think Bama's just going to run into a goddamn wall against UConn, honestly. Bama's been playing very, very well. They've been scoring the fucking ball, man. But they have 109 the first round.
Yeah.
They just haven't scored under, what? I don't even want to make an assumption, but I want to say they've scored more than 75 points every game.
UConn?
No, Bama.
Bama? Yeah.
But they're just going to hit a wall against UConn. I feel like UConn's just a way better team, and they are insane. I've never seen a powerhouse since Kentucky. 2012, man, when AD was on there.
Yeah, everything. UConn's just absolutely rolling, and everything they want to motivate them is motivating them. Their plane getting delayed, not getting in until 3 a.m., excuse me. The early games they had to play when they were in Boston. Hurley will take anything and just get these boys just riled up. I think UConn wins this game, but I think it might be a little bit closer than the 11.5 mark. I think UConn wins this game. They get out to a big lead, and then Bama just starts making shots. This game will probably be 8-9 point UConn win, I feel like.
See, I just think UConn's going to win by double figures. They've beaten every team by double figures.
Yeah.
I mean, they've just been so dominant, defending on both ends, defensively and offensively. So I just think that UConn's obviously just going to win this, blow them out of the water, and just win the national championship.
So that gives us for you guys, a UConn-NC State matchup in the national championship.
Yeah, and I think UConn takes that.
I think
there's no shot.
I think whoever comes out of that game,
UConn-Bama.
I definitely agree.
I would say.
I think if Bama plays Purdue, Purdue wins. I think if UConn plays Purdue, that is going to be an unreal matchup with Zach Edey and Klingon, 2 7-foot monsters with just they can play defense all over. And then the guards around them, the guard play they have, they got shooters everywhere. They got ball handlers. That would be a final. That would be one of those where this is a really good final match. Yeah. But I think UConn-Purdue has that. And then for some reason, I think Purdue wins it all. As much as I don't want to. I think Zach Edey's the biggest bitch on the face of the earth. But But I think Purdue actually wins a national championship, barely beating UConn. In
I
the
just
final.
don't understand. Like, he gets so many calls, and it's like it's almost like frustrating to watch at one point.
I
Like,
don't
it's
watch
just
Purdue
like-
games because of that reason alone.
Yeah,
It's
it's almost like the refs feel that nobody can guard him, so they must be fouling him because he hasn't played anybody that's another 7-footer. Like Illinois was small, NC State he's playing is going to be small. Like all these big games he's had to play, there's been nobody,
Yeah.
you know. But I think that matchup with Klingon would be good. But I think Purdue wins it.
I like UConn. UConn,
Back-to-back champions
yeah.
for the first time since the
Great
Florida
story.
Gators.
Yeah, I think they're better than the Florida Gators were.
That Florida Gators team had like 3 first-round draft picks.
Al Horford, Joakim Noah.
Yeah.
Al Horford, baby, still kicking. Love him.
Love that man.
Oh,
They had a bunch of good players on that team, but domination-wise, UConn's been unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, they've won every game by double figures, so they're just dominating everybody.
now it's time for Same Faces, New Places, NFL Free Agency Edition. We're going to talk about the winners and the losers of free agency and the biggest signings. So, boys, who we got? Biggest names. Diggs,
Diggs.
the Texans.
Diggs recently to the Texans. That was
That's huge.
I feel like the Texans honestly didn't even give up enough. They only all they gave up was a 2nd-round pick, and they got Diggs, a 5th, and a 6th.
They are the first NFL team to sign a 1,000 rusher the year before, 1,000 receiver, and 10-plus sacks. And who was it? Daniel
Hunter, Stephon Diggs, and Joe
Mixon.
Mixon.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah,
I give him an A+ this offseason.
They've gone completely crazy in this free agency ever since they were like CJ Stroud's the guy. We can go all in with him.
Now, who do you think takes a bigger step back, Nico or Tank?
I think Tank, just because coming off the injury he had.
See, I think the opposite.
Really,
I think Nico takes a bigger step back. Because
Nico-
Diggs is the guy who goes down and takes the deep threat balls. That's where obviously Noah Brown comes into effect. But
Yeah.
that's where
Could use
Nico
him in a
was.
different way as well. Getting the
Okay.
yardage. He
I
can be
think-
that 10-yard guy.
I think it's going to be a lot like the Bengals situation where you'll have Diggs will be that guy. He'll have to be that guy because if not, he'll throw a temper tantrum and start problems. And then you'll have kind of Nico Collins as a T. Higgins, a second option, and then Tank Dell, especially coming off that gruesome leg injury. He'll be like the slot guy, that the utility yards. Like he's not going to put up insane numbers, but he'll be dependable and reliant on when you need him.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you think about it, what does that say about Diggs if all that Buffalo got was a second? All they wanted was a second.
And the worst part about it is the Bills gave up a first-round pick that got the Vikings Justin Jefferson for Diggs. Yeah,
Wow.
that trade for
Didn't even know.
a trade for
Yeah, I
Diggs.
agree.
They gave a first-round pick to the Vikings, and the Vikings drafted Justin Jefferson with it.
Oh, R.I.P. Bills dynasty. You know,
Yeah.
did
Speaking of
nothing.
I also heard something too, where after Week 1, when Buffalo lost to the Jets on
Mhm.
Monday night, when Rodgers
tore his
ACL or
Achilles,
Achilles,
yeah.
I guess like everyone was going up to him in the locker room, being like, "Yo, like, it's all right, like
Mhm.
you'll get it next time." And I guess I didn't hear I didn't hear what like Diggs actually said to Josh Allen,
Mhm.
but Josh Allen was like, "Nah, man, fuck off, like fuck you, like
Really?
get away from me." Like, no, he said, "It's only one fucking game." That's what that's what Diggs said. That's what Josh Allen said. Diggs was, "It's only one fucking game."
Because he was
So he
losing
so
his
he got
mind.
pissed. He got pissed at him. So
Yeah, he's such a diva. But speaking of the Bills, wow, did they let everybody go?
Yeah.
Their team is so different. Their defense depleted. Gabe Davis gone. Stephon Diggs gone. Singletary gone. I mean, they signed an lineman.
they have James Cook, obviously.
They have obviously James Cook. They signed Curtis Samuel, which I don't know if that's the greatest replacement in the world. Khalil, Shakir,
Yeah.
I mean, Dawson Knox, Kincaid, yeah.
Those are going
to have to be. That's going to have to be what it is. But the Bills definitely, I think, took a step in the wrong direction. But they had to. They were spending so much money on these old guys, but it's going to be a tough year for the Bills. Speaking of AFC East, at least, Dolphins let everybody go. Patriots have done nothing. The Jets the Jets did some good stuff, bringing in Mike Williams, another weapon, got the offensive line revamped. Traded for the linebacker from the Eagles, Hassan Reddick. So they're going all in this year with Rodgers. They have to.
Yeah.
Saleh's job's on the line. Rodgers' legacy's on the line.
Pats missed their chance with Calvin Ridley, man.
So I saw something that Calvin Ridley actually didn't want to come here, and it wasn't because of him.
It's because of his girlfriend.
His girlfriend didn't want to be
In
up here.
in
She
New
wanted to be down
Orleans,
south.
Yeah.
So that's why he signed with Tennessee.
I mean, Tennessee gave him a bag, though.
Supposedly he
Really
took
got
less
more?
money.
Yeah.
He took
Really?
less money
I think the
with
Pats
Tennessee.
offered him more.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But you'll have Jacoby Brissett throwing on the football, so it'll be good.
I mean, it's going to be whoever they take at 3 if they keep 3.
All right,
I think
we're not
that-
talking draft yet. We're not.
I'm
Talking
just
draft
saying
yet.
that
we can't talk draft
All
yet.
I'm saying is
Um,
depends on who they take at 3. So
I think a huge winner, the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Chicago Bears were
Keenan
a
Allen.
massive winner. Keenan Allen, Swift, revamped the O-line, got better on defense, got rid of Justin Fields, have the number 1 overall pick, have Cole Kmet still. We'll have that rookie deal.
and they also have the 9th pick as well.
They also have the 9th pick where they can trade or get another wide receiver.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then they re-signed Jalen Johnson in the summer or in the offseason. So, Bears are just like the Texans, I feel like. They're going all in because they'll know they'll have that rookie contract for 3-4 years. Vikings, letting Kirk Cousins go.
Letting Daniil Hunter
Letting
go.
Daniil Hunter go. I mean,
Who's going to throw the ball for Minnesota? I mean, they got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and T.J. Hawkinson.
and
You
Aaron
know where to
Jones
throw
out of the
the ball.
backfield now.
Yeah, and
Aaron Jones.
nobody.
They got Sam Darnold.
Oh, Sam Darnold. What has he done?
I
Big
don't-
pickup, man.
I don't
Yeah.
know that Kevin O'Connell can work magic for a quarterback.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
But
Kirk Cousins.
they
Now he's
definitely
going
got
to
worse.
Sam Darnold.
Lions were real quiet, I feel like.
Very quiet.
Real quiet in free agency. The only thing you heard about the Lions was that Cam Sutton guy, the cornerback that they had to release because he was on the run for beating up his
So
Girlfriend.
crazy thing about that is they haven't heard from him in weeks,
really.
and
He just
like-
turned himself in, I saw though.
oh really? Because
Yeah,
I
a
heard
couple days
before. I
ago.
heard before that they hadn't heard from him in weeks.
Yeah.
He was just MIA.
Yeah.
No one thought he was alive or not.
The Lions obviously cut him, but they were extremely quiet in free agency. Packers,
Cowboys.
Packers made a big move getting
Josh
Josh
Jacobs.
Jacobs, but letting
Aaron
Bakhtiari go and Aaron Jones go. And
Bakhtiari didn't play at all last year, though. He was
Been
always hurt, but they re-signed A.J. Dillon. And, I mean, Josh Jacobs is young, playing with a good organization now. That division is going to be real good.
Yeah.
Packers,
Very young.
Bears, Lions. I mean, real good. But, yeah, you was talking about the Cowboys.
Cowboys and it's quiet. Crickets.
yeah, they've done nothing.
Absolutely nothing. There was that...
Letting Tony Pollard go. Who are they going to have at running back?
I don't know. I mean, there was that...
Rico Dowdle.
There was the report that came out that Derrick Henry was talking about how he wanted to go to Dallas, but Dallas never said a word to him.
Wow.
Imagine that. He wants to go to Dallas, and Dallas was like, yeah, no, we're good.
Crazy thing that I've heard is that Micah Parsons isn't doing so hot. They no one in the not the facility, but some of the higher ups, the owners, and not obviously Jerry Jones, but people like Jerry Jones, they don't like his attitude right now, and they're actually talking in the talks of trading him and
Wow.
possibly getting rid of him.
And
So that'd be another huge
America's
loss.
team fall.
and
Again?
and they're not re-signing Dak. This is a prove-it year for Dak. We'll have to sign CeeDee Lamb if they want. Like you said, have no running back. Defense was abysmal against the Packers, and they didn't improve that at all.
Yep.
Yeah, Cowboys got a lot worse.
They got
When it
Eric.
comes to the
They got Eric
playoffs, man, they
Kendricks.
can't play.
From Minnesota.
He was in the Chargers last
He
year.
was on the
yeah.
Chargers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Staying in that division, Eagles got Saquon,
Yep.
which
And the tush push is still legal.
tush push is still legal, but They got to find a new center now, though.
Yeah.
That
It was all Kelsey, man.
We'll
J-
see.
That
We'll
was
see.
the biggest part.
We'll see if that's really what it was.
the J.C. Kelsey retirement was crazy. Fletcher Cox retired as well.
Yep.
They let go of Hassan Reddick.
Yep.
They did re-sign C.J. Gardner-Johnson, though, from the Lions. They'll still be really good. They'll have Jalen Hurts and Saquon in the backfield now.
Yeah.
That's
it's-
gonna be
gonna be
that's
crazy.
gonna be
Scary backfield, man.
crazy. They re-signed their entire line. Lane Johnson's still there. The Polynesian guy is still there. He just re-signed. The one who sings in
Mai Tai.
in the Christmas Carol with
Yeah.
him. But they're all
Jordan Mailata.
yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't think of his name.
Yeah,
Yes, Jordan.
they're
Mailata.
all still back. They still got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. Then they have the tight end who's an absolute
Goddard.
Dallas Goddard. Yeah, I think it's the Eagles. Eagles are real good. Mike Evans staying with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Same thing with Baker.
Baker getting a lot of money.
3 years, 100 mil.
They're running it back. The Chargers got rid of absolutely everybody.
Yep. Keenan's gone for a fourth. Mike Williams released.
Yeah.
Eckler's gone to Washington.
Washington actually had a couple.
But
of
do you think that Eckler's done? If you watched him towards like the end of last year,
He's washed.
he looked
He's
terrible.
washed. He's washed. He's washed. It's sad, but he's real washed. It'll be interesting. You got L'Jarius Sneed left Kansas City. He's like, I'll take 2 rings. I'm out. I'm gonna go get paid. Tennessee paid him. Calvin Ridley went to Tennessee
The Chiefs franchise tagged Sneed, and then they traded Sneed to the Tennessee
because they weren't going to
Titans.
pay him after
Yeah.
this year. Yeah. Jacksonville lost Calvin Ridley, got Gabe Davis.
But is that really
That's not a good
Like,
replacement at all.
It's not a good upgrade.
Gabe Davis, the guy who fantasy wise will give you 0 points 1 week, and then 30 points the next, and then 0 the very next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I did the wrong
most
mistake of
inconsistent guy.
having him on my fantasy squad, so he really helped me out there.
Another one we forgot. Cleveland getting Jerry Judy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then signing to that
For-
massive deal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll see
Dude.
what if Steve Smith was right.
Yeah.
Is Jerry Judy good, or is he honestly
Ass.
terrible?
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe good,
I mean,
sometimes maybe shit.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. We
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I think if Deshaun can stay healthy, he's got all the weapons in the world he can ever ask for. Amari Cooper, Jerry Judy, and Njoku. Chubb stays healthy. You know,
We'll see how Chubb
Let's
can
see how-
do
yeah,
this year. I
Chubb's,
mean, it's going to be James Ford for
you think Phil tomorrow?
a little bit. I feel like, yeah, to at least start the year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to rush Chubb back in right now.
Ravens.
Ravens getting Derrick Henry. That's going to be scary.
You were calling that for 2-3
yeah,
months before
I
that
said
too.
that like 3 months
But I-
before, and I was all over that.
when they got rid of Gus Edwards, I saw the door just wide open for Derrick Henry. And what happened 24 hours later? Signed Derrick Henry.
Gus Edwards is now
Chargers?
with the
Chargers.
Chargers. Yep. Staying over on the West Coast.
That was a good pickup.
lot
like
of
this.
situations with San Francisco and the whole Ayuk and Debo situation.
Yeah, where do you
right?
think? So Ayuk's gonna want
he
out.
wants to be traded? So.
New England.
I wouldn't mind him going to New England. Did we need it?
Yeah.
I also saw
110%.
something where
T. Higgins wants to trade too.
I saw a thing where it was T. Higgins for Brandon Ayuk. It wasn't like I didn't see it
Like
straight
a
up, but at least
like a
it could
swap?
happen. Yeah,
That'd be crazy.
and then
I think
Higgins
if you could do T. Higgins and Debo together, I think T. Higgins is better than Brandon Ayuk.
I don't. I think Ayuk is better than
Really?
T. Higgins.
I think T. Higgins has just been in that like shadow of a better like Jamar Chase. I think he's better than Brandon Ayuk, honestly. But that's for another day.
Yeah.
Any
Until that actually happens.
any other trades or free agencies we missed or we think we missed?
Mac Jones.
Oh,
He came
my
out. He
God.
came out of his shell after leaving fucking New England.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Thank God, though.
Mac Jones said he's a rapper, bro.
Get the Mac sauce out.
You
of him,
see
man.
that?
I'm
He's
happy.
back home in Duval. What a guy.
That was
That still was such a bad press conference when he was like, "Yeah, my mom's picking me up in like 30 minutes."
Yeah.
Can't drive yourself, Mac?
Hey, parents live nearby. All about saving money, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Especially considering you don't know what's going to happen after this year.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's not staying with Jacksonville. That'll be interesting, though. 2, what did Trevor go 1? Mac went what?
10, I think.
10 in the same draft class?
Or 15, sorry.
15.
15. But it also, Trevor Lawrence gets hurt.
I was
Mac
gonna
Jones plays good. Does Mac Jones take over Trevor Lawrence?
That was going to be my
Maybe
question.
for like 2 games, and then he'll start Mac
It's-
Jones.
If you look, like, obviously I'm going to talk shit about Daniel Jones real quick, but it's really not talking shit about Daniel Jones. It's more talking shit about Trevor Lawrence. Because Daniel Jones
20
has been
and
so
30
bad,
as a starter.
it's the same. But they have, like, the exact same record.
Yeah.
And all their stats are almost exactly the same. The only thing that's different is Daniel Jones is a better runner.
Yeah.
But, like, it's very similar. Like, it's crazy.
Does Trevor Lawrence have a playoff win?
Yes.
Against the Chargers.
Yep, when they were down.
Yeah.
I actually bet on that game.
Yeah.
I remember at halftime 'cause
Yeah.
they were down I forget, they were down
Yeah,
like
like
30,
20.
Yeah,
like
it was
28-3.
something like
I
that.
sprinkled a little bit, got back
Yeah.
a good amount.
I
That was
do.
actually a
Yeah.
fun game to watch.
It was a crazy game to watch.
4 in the first half. They had him in the first half.
Any other ones? Got Falcons. Obviously got Kirk Cousins.
That's going to be huge.
They paid him
So much money.
so much money, and the year before that they could have gone Lamar for even less money.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, let's go with the vet for more.
I mean,
They got a ton
coming
of
off an
weapons.
Achilles.
it does. I don't think it's going to matter. I think Kirk Cousins is going to still be Kirk Cousins. I think he's going to. You have Kyle Pitts, Drake London.
Yeah.
You have
He's got
Bijan
the
out of the
weapons to-
backfield.
Mhm.
Like, you have all those guys. So, I mean, why not?
Oh, speaking of quarterbacks, let Russ cook
Forgot about
in the
that.
Steel City, huh?
And Justin Fields.
Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are the 2 quarterbacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Never would have thought
I wouldn't.
that.
Never would have.
never would've
Deontay
guessed
Johnson out the door. See you later. Go have fun in
Carolina.
Carolina. Oh boy,
Kenny Pickett gone.
Kenny Pickett going to the Eagles. I heard that Kenny Pickett was like, "Yeah, I don't want to be competing with Russ, so he wanted to get traded."
Wow.
What?
And now he has to get
Now
Jalen Hurts.
he had a better chance against Russ than he did against Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, absolutely.
That Russell Wilson one's going to be big because
I think George Pickens is going to have himself a great year. Him
Yeah.
being a deep ball threat and Russ throwing the deep
Yeah.
ball. Like,
You
look
think-
at last year with Courtland Sutton.
yeah,
You think Russ will give Mike Tomlin his first non-winning season?
He didn't last year. Last year they were 7-9.
no,
No, they weren't.
I thought we went over
the Steelers made the playoffs last year at 9-7.
Yeah, 9-7.
You're right.
Because
yeah,
they
we were right.
lost-
We did
yeah.
have this conversation.
Yeah.
We thought I
Yeah,
was
because
right. Yeah.
we had this exact
Because
same
they played the Bills in this crazy snow game where they had to delay the game to like a Sunday or Monday or something like
Yeah,
that.
you're right.
You think Russ is gonna just bring Mike Tomlin down now?
That division is so tough. You get a healthy Joe Burrow back. Hopefully, you get a healthy Deshaun Watson back, and then you have the Ravens, who are just going to be the Ravens again,
Yeah.
with the addition of Derrick Henry.
With-
Mark Andrews coming back being completely healthy too.
Yeah,
That's the scariest.
Zay Flowers in his second year now with
thinking
his
about
team.
Lamar and Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
Just back
like
there.
those two.
That's-
You got Lamar and Derrick Henry. You have Saquon and Jalen Hurts. You have Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs. Like, there's some really good QB, RB backfields out there in the league right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really exciting. Okay. I think that's most of it for free agencies. I'm sure there's some we missed, but there's always just so many to cover during the season. If you are not on social media for a day, you miss like 10 of them.
Yeah.
You know. But to wrap up the episode, we'll all do our 3 best bets for today, being Saturday, April 6th. We'll each do three bets, tell you the payout, what you want to put onto it, And then on next episode, we will go over our picks and see how we did. Lou, do you want to start us off?
Yeah.
Before that, too, I will say I want to kind of have like a little competition with all this. So,
Yeah, we'll keep track
So
of it.
we're going to keep track of it for the whole month. And after each month, we're going to do, like, for one episode, whoever has the worst record at the whole thing ends up having to do a punishment.
Okay.
So, like, wearing a dress, wearing a mask, doing something kind of, like, just stupid for the podcast. Yeah. So, I mean, comment. I mean, do anything to let us know what you think, what we could kind of go ahead and do and kind of spice things up a little bit, make it a little different.
Let's not worry. Mine will go 3 out of 3. So I got NC State spread +9 tonight against Purdue. I have the under on the Bama UConn game at 160.5.
It just moved up to 161.
Oh, even better now. Even better. 161. I'll take it. And I also have the Diamondbacks winning today against the Braves. So that parlay is a +870. So a $10 bet wins you $97.06.
Pat, go ahead with yours.
I have Purdue. We talked about it earlier in our Final Four previews and national championship preview. I think Purdue rolls tonight. I like Purdue -9.5. And then I like the under in the Alabama-UConn game. UConn plays unbelievable defense. They don't need to score to win. Alabama does need to score to win. But I see this game going way under this. And then I like the Texas Rangers at home against the Houston Astros, who have been struggling a little bit this year. That is +599. So $10 will just win you 70. Nothing crazy out there, but with the three teamers, you get some good value when you parlay them together. And Bill, you want to wrap us up with your 3 for today?
Yep. So mine is obviously a little bit different. I always like to keep things on the higher end. This is why I'm probably going to be the loser at the end of each month. But I am taking NC State money line. I'm also taking the under of 161 in the UConn-Alabama game. And my MLB pick for this week is going to be the Orioles beating Pittsburgh today with Tyler Wells pitching. Obviously, I went over with how well I think Baltimore is going to play this year earlier. So I think that Baltimore keeps rolling with Pittsburgh not being that good of a team. It is only $10. Mine is +1362. So $10 will win you 146. So
a lot is that on that NC State money line.
Yeah,
right
big money.
Big money on NC State money line. That's it for the first episode of the Washed Up Sports Podcast. We hope you all enjoyed. We'll be releasing a podcast every Wednesday. But follow us on all socials, and we will leave a link down below on how to follow us.
As always, stay washed.